Hey y'all, welcome back to week 3 of decluttering my home. I have set myself a challenge to get rid of at least 50 things in my home every week from now until we move in mid-April. This week I am focusing on my linen closet and the kids' art closet. These are two spaces that really don't need a ton of decluttering so much as they just need to have some junk removed. I started by going through all of our little medicine baskets and looking for expired medications or things that we just don't use anymore. This is one of those tasks that might really feel like it doesn't make a big impact, but once you realize how much more organized you can be whenever you get rid of the things you aren't using, you'll realize it's totally worth the effort. One of the reasons that I wanted to take on this challenge before we move to a new house is that I feel like over time, our home just starts to collect so much junk that we reach a point where we don't really even know what we have anymore, and we certainly don't need most of it. So I've really been making a concerted effort to reduce, and as we head into our next house, I'm spending a lot more time thinking about how I can simplify and live maybe a more quiet and intentional life with a little bit less junk. And I know it sounds silly to think that getting rid of all the expired medicine in my medicine cabinet is going to help me towards my goal of living a more intentional life, but I think it's actually a really great way to slow down and think about what's in your home and take care of a task that often gets ignored. I think that so often our lives end up feeling really chaotic, and one of the reasons is because we're so busy and fill our days with so much stuff that we don't have time to take care of basic tasks like going through the medicine cabinet. So for me, doing something like going through my medicine cabinet and going through the kids' art closet is a practice in slowing down. It's a practice in being intentional, and it's a practice in making sure that my home is full of things that really matter and not a bunch of junk. So let's talk about what I'm actually purging here. In addition to getting rid of some of the medication that's expired or that just doesn't work for our family anymore, I also went through and pulled out any old wrapping paper that either didn't have enough left to use or had been stored for so long that it was torn and pretty much unusable. I also pulled out all of the cleaning supplies that I had in my linen closet to go through, and I was shocked at how much was in there that I hadn't touched in years. Some of this just needs to be thrown away, especially like I had ones that were almost empty or had really rusty bottles, but a lot of this can be given away if you have like a neighborhood buy nothing page or even just a Facebook group where people can share things that they don't need anymore. Here's a peek at how the closet was looking after I finished. So much more organized, and a lot of this is ready to be packed now. Next up, I moved to the kids' art closet, and there wasn't a ton to purge in here because I purge this on a pretty regular basis. My kids keep it in a lot of chaos, but I managed to find a few things, and by the time I was done, I had hit 50 items that I got rid of in my house this week. So today we were able to get rid of about 50 things in the house just from a couple of closets. Now, to be fully transparent, most of the things that we got rid of were just trash. It was expired medication. It was wrapping paper that was torn to shreds and not really usable anymore. It was mostly just a lot of clutter, but I don't want to be moving the clutter, and I don't need that clutter hanging out of my house. So it feels great to get rid of all of that stuff. I ended up with one super full trash bag and then a small pile of stuff that was still good enough to be sent off for donation. So I feel great about that. I've got a few closets that are looking a lot lighter, a lot more ready to be packed up, and things are feeling really good. We've got just a few weeks left before the move, and I have a feeling these last few weeks are going to get a little bit challenging to find 50 things to get rid of because the house is feeling so much lighter already. So far, we've gotten rid of 150 things in this house, and that's a little bit mind-boggling. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you want to make sure that you don't miss next week's video. I think I'm going to tackle upstairs, and it should be quite an adventure.